Frozen 1 is one of my favorite Disney movies ever, but could the ending have been better? In this guy's opinion, yes it could. Let's get started. Hello my friends, welcome to Thumb Together. My name is Andrew Fantasia. Thank you so much for tuning in. As usual, if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up and give some love to that subscribe button as well. If you clicked on this video looking at the title and thought you were going to get something along the lines of what these guys do, that's not what this is. Those guys are very, very funny and their videos are absolutely awesome. However, number one, I don't have an animation budget. Sorry. And number two, this video is not a joke. This isn't meant for, chuckles and giggles. This is legitimately, as a guy who likes to write, what I would have done if I was writing Frozen, because I absolutely adore Frozen with my heart and soul, except the very, very end was a little weak for me. That's it. That's the only flaw in this otherwise fantastic movie. And I want to talk about what I would have done differently to end Frozen. So here's a very quick little recap that you probably don't need, but Anna and Elsa are sisters, right? They're princesses. They live up in this castle together. They've been royalty their whole lives. And in their childhood, they used to play a lot together, and Elsa was not afraid of using her powers. And on an assumedly regular basis, Anna would wake Elsa up very, very late in the middle of the night and say, "Do you want to build a snowman?" And Elsa would wake up and they'd be like, "Yay!" And they would go and they'd play together. And Elsa would use her ice powers, and Anna would absolutely love it. She'd be digging it until one fateful night, when Elsa accidentally hurts Anna with her ice powers, and suddenly there's some trauma there. And the whole driving force of Frozen is based off of that traumatic point in Elsa's childhood, which is why I love this movie so much, and how she is forced to cloister herself and excise all those parts of her that make her unique. And Anna is made to forget about the powers entirely by the troll magic, and the parents run off because of the power. Like, the powers ruin the family, and Elsa blames herself, even though it's not really her fault. And you get that great dynamic of her just hiding away for years and years. And we see this montage as they're growing up. Anna would knock on the door and be like, "Hey, do you want to build a snowman?" But Elsa never responds. And the two of them, their innocence, their childhood is lost, it's left behind, and they sink into adulthood in this very dark, dreary, lonely, quiet castle. Then the plot of the movie happens, and it's great, and all of that stuff takes place, and then we finally get to the end of the film, where Anna realizes that, this Hans guy that I was going to marry, probably not the wisest choice, but this Kristoff dude, who I've known for a day, is pretty cool. Anyway, she doesn't necessarily marry Kristoff, but she kind of, becomes his girlfriend, which is a really mature way to tackle this romance. And Kristoff comes into the fold, he brings his reindeer, everything is cool, they're all happy. And then we get the very end. And in the very end, Elsa has this little moment that, completes her arc where she is okay with her powers now and she's not afraid anymore. And the way they choose to show that is she's standing in the courtyard and all the townspeople are around her and she's like, "Are you guys ready?" And she makes a skating rink and everybody skates. And then the camera pans up to the top of the castle and we fade out on the image of a snowflake, and that's the end of the movie. Good, but not great. It goes out with a whimper, and I think a movie as powerful as Frozen should go out with a bang instead of a whimper. So here's what I would have done, okay? Instead of that whole skating rink thing, I would have had a more subdued kind of emotional moment where Elsa comes back and she saved the princess and everybody and she's gotten rid of Hans. The townspeople see that she's not a monster and they see she's just a normal girl who just happens to have these powers. They realize that they were wrong to judge her, and we get that moment. So the town does not hate Elsa anymore. She's still their queen and they love her. But what's more important is the arc between Anna and Elsa, and to show that Elsa has grown and is no longer afraid. And I think the best way to do that, the best way to show us that Elsa is no longer afraid, is to do this. After we pan up and see the castle, we cut to later that night, and Anna is in bed sleeping. And Elsa comes into her room, taps her on the shoulder, wakes her up, and says, "Do you want to build a snowman?" Because she's not afraid anymore, and now she wants to make up for lost time. That closes her loop. She is 100% back on board as Anna's sister. I think that would have been absolutely beautiful. Really ended the movie with a bang instead of a whimper. But maybe I'm crazy. Maybe that's just me. That's how I feel. That's definitely how I would have written the end of Frozen. What do you guys think? Tell me about how cool Frozen is, because we all cool. Get it? Because there's a lot of winter in that movie. And I hope you're as excited for Frozen 2 as I am. But that has been this little bite-sized edition of Thumb Together. My name is Andrew Fantasia. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you here next time. And remember, if you liked my idea for the ending of Frozen, then you'll probably like other things that I've written, including this, Side Scroller. It's a novel written by me. You can find it on Amazon in both paperback or electronic book format, whatever floats your boat. Side Scroller is an adventure romance that's set in a world that runs on the logic of video games. Hop on Amazon, get yourself a copy, get everybody you know a copy. It would help me out a lot. But that's Thumb Together for today. I'll see you in the funny pages, folks. Until then, adios.